People in the courthouse would somewhat make a spectacle out of me. They would say loudly, "Here comes that woman lawyer, Elaine Marshall," like I was an oddity from the circus or something. They would sometimes come to court when I tried cases to just see how I could do it. And they learned very well, and that was good for bringing in additional clients. And that just seemed like that was my name. That woman lawyer, Elaine Marshall. It was like all those 6 words or so. And indeed, this is absolutely true. There was an envelope written to Lady Lawyer, Lillington, North Carolina. Post office stuck it in my box, and when I opened up the letter, it said, "Dear Ms. Elaine." It was for me. So that's how I was known for many years around my small rural area. I am right when I say women are still getting unfair treatment when we push expected boundaries. I ran for the United States Senate in 2010. In that primary, I had 2 significant male challengers. When you run for higher office, you have to expect people to take your pictures and your names and do things with it. That's part of running for office. But let me tell you how women are marginalized, how the media inadvertently or with intention pictures us. There was a moment in the campaign when we had a statewide televised debate in the primary. It was done in one of the TV studios in Raleigh and was available on NBC all around the state. There were 2 print medias that covered it extensively in the area. The one was the Independent, which is a weekly progressive newspaper out of Durham, and the other, of course, is the News and Observer. Both of them had front page coverage. In the Independent, they chose not to use photographs. They did, caricatures. And they did it in a drawing where I was portrayed as very short and petite, with my hand clutching the powerful looking arm of one of the 2 male opponents because did I have some fear about something? I don't know why I needed to be grabbing somebody's arm. The men were all drawn very tall and literally standing in front of me, more in the foreground and I was more in the background. I guess for manliness, I had to stand behind in somebody's idea who drew that. Fortunately, they didn't put me in a frilly dress or cowboy boots, but anyway, I have to be thankful for what I did get. In the News and Observer, they used a photograph, but with an angle from the Senate debate where, you guessed it, in the picture my 2 male opponents were standing far in front of me, and I was in the background. I looked very small in the picture behind them, and they were shaking each other's hand in a manly way in front of me like I was looking on from afar. Now keep in mind, I was always the front runner in that primary race, and I went on to win it after having a runoff called, winning it by 9 points in the primary, and then a runoff was called, which I beat the guy by 20 points. It's like we can't let her have it, so we just got to keep making it go longer and longer and longer. Now, I used to play basketball, and nobody's ever considered me petite. The truth is I was taller than the other 2, not by much, but I'm 5'10", and to depict me as something small and petite does me a disservice. No disrespect to anybody who is small and petite. But to intentionally picture me that way, I think, is inherently unfair. I said nothing about it, but in hindsight, you just realize that it matters. It matters. It matters how women are viewed. The News and Observer also did something that, photographers take an awful lot of pictures, In another shot from that debate, all of us had makeup on, all of us had stylists there to make sure that we looked TV worthy. Somebody was pulling some hair behind my ear. They took that picture and put that in the newspaper. That one burned me a new one, really. I was very, very unhappy about that one. It was the softer female side, apparently. It was the vanity side. I don't know. One of the other guys was continually using some kind of absorbing white because apparently he perspired an awful lot under the lights. But they didn't show him daubing his face or anything like that. So a photographer will take 100, 200 pictures. There was an editorial or a newspaper decision to pick that particular one to put it in there. And someday I will be able to ask the News Observer why they did that. And I'm not sure what the answer is going to be, but it should be very, very interesting. So a lot of things matter. A lot of these subliminal messages matter out there. I had run in more political contests than my opponents put together. If anyone should have been portrayed as being fearful or diminutive or anything about the election, it should not have been me. But all those things happened. They're all very true. What do I take from my own experiences? What do I take from watching current headlines where women appear to be treated unfairly in our national discussion today? I think we have hit a strange point where it's okay when only a few women succeed. Does the word token come to mind? But it's far, far less okay when we start approaching everything else close to the equality mark, whether that's in business or politics or some other form of leadership. And congratulations to our two leadership winners here. So what do we do next? Well, one of the things that got me to accept this event today was something I read on the Women with Know-How website. It's right up there, and it reads, "Readers of Women with Know-How are savvy, smart, professional businesswomen who are highly educated, have families, own homes, and have excellent disposable income and business income to spend." Well, that description fits you and it fits me. Who better to improve our society than the people being described right there? You and I deserve to live in a society where talent, regardless of gender, is recognized and rewarded fairly. This is what we want for our own lives. It's certainly what we want for our daughters and the women following us into business and public life as well. I even want that for all of my male friends in the business and political sectors, because a rising tide lifts a lot of boats. Maybe the best way to help the American economy right now is for our society to do everything it can to help women prosper in our private and public sectors. After all, the more business we build, the more our economy grows. No one loses when you have equality. Everyone gains when the barriers of prejudice and bias get lowered. And instead of seeing some woman after your job, you just see another business professional with some good ideas to make money. The same thing would be true in politics if women ever got to the equality mark there. I can only imagine how many stalemates and loggerheads we could break apart in this nation's politics if we had more viewpoints and more problem-solving skills at the table. So, this all sounds good, but what do we do next? Well, let's try this. When you and I wake up tomorrow morning and pick up our pocketbooks, let's think about where we're going to spend the money in that pocketbook. I say that because I wish women thought more about other women when they buy things. What I mean is, before you write that check or swipe that credit card, do you think about who owns the business? Is it woman-owned or managed by any chance? Is the business friendly towards hiring female employees? Are they paying them fair wages? Does it have a good record of promoting women in the economy? I believe in shopping with sisters. Anybody like my new necklace from this morning? From Leah Sophia, right back there in the corner. There are millions of women struggling to keep their businesses open each and every day. Are we thinking about them when we choose to use our economic power? Because if we do, it will send ripples of empowerment. Even your smallest purchases carry economic muscle. Some benefits from those purchases, their business profits. The only question is, who are they? Are they people who would hire you? Are they people who would sign a contract with your business and treat you fairly? You know, I recognize businesses are in business to make money, not just social justice centers. I get it. I know it's true. So I'm just saying your decisions tell them what's important to their customers. If their customers don't care about how they treat people or how they discriminate or what their hiring track record is, why should they care? But when they see the way to profit and business survival is that they need to have women managers and pay everyone equal pay for equal work, then the world starts to change. Again, little decisions by you and me turn bigger gears in this world. The next level of how to make things better is through speaking out, advocacy, and giving to causes that help make the world a better place. I've said this 1,000 times in 1,000 settings. If you're a smart, savvy woman, especially if you're a good businesswoman, please consider running for public office. At least consider getting yourself onto some of the important boards and commissions where you can be appointed in your state or this county. I don't care what party you are. I don't care what specific issues really drive you. But examples count. Role models count. We need more women in the public life of this country, this state, and in this very community. We need to take seats at the table. When male lawmakers have more women at the table next to them, things will get better for all women. When the media has to cover more women in public life in a serious way, things will get better for all women. When young boys and girls grow up in a society where they see women working in positions of power right alongside men, things will get better for all women. We need to get started with taking these steps because, at best, achieving true gender equality in this world is certainly still more than a lifetime away. But we've got to live knowing we have done what we could to make things better. We've got to live in a way that declares every girl in this world is our daughter. Every girl in this world is my daughter. Every girl in the world is your daughter. I promise this, you can improve your life and the lives of others around you, from how you spend your spare change on little purchases to how you spend your spare time getting more involved in our shared cultural life.